welcome to another episode of For the Culture. I am I'm Henny on the rocks. Hey! I like you. Y'all ready? They stay ready. I love it. What happened? Okay. I'll give you another chance. It's okay. It's okay. Welcome to the show, guys. Like I said, I am Henny on the rocks. To my right is
CSO.
And what does CSO stand for?
Chief Straightening Officer.
She straightens it out. Straightens it out. And we have the queen over here. Different seating today, if you've noticed. I am on the throne today because she is in the hot seat and I have been waiting for this show. It's going to be great. We are talking all things love. Keisha, introduce your person sitting next to you.
Well, this is my
Introduce him like you want the world to know who he is to you.
This is my
Hey.
my husband.
Yes.
My baby daddy.
Yes.
My homeboy.
Yes. What else?
I love my
Yes. Okay. And we have our resident mental health. I'm not going to call you a mental health expert. She is our resident expert on all things out the head. All things that you think. She is the expert. She got like real initials behind her name and certificates and stuff. So she's the real deal. This ain't no shade tree, boo. This is real.
all degrees.
Why don't you introduce our guest?
So, don't do that. Our very, very special couple, other than this couple, we have Monique,
Hey.
and Big Reese.
Big Reese. Yes.
Bell.
Oh, I love that. Mo and Mo. I gotta come up with a name before the end of the show.
We keyed in.
Okay, we can do that. Oh, what about DK?
Okay.
What about DK? Okay, and there you have it. So if you haven't guessed by now, we are talking about love. We are talking about relationships. As you guys know, February is that month of love. The last show we had, it was about the single life. The struggle is real in these single streets. Y'all don't know nothing about that at all. That was all me and Tiff. All me and Tiff. But it's going to get better.
Well, I have had a piece of this life. Let me just put that out there.
Oh, okay. Not me. I'm a virgin at it. So listen.
17 years.
Oh, wow. You were married for 17
I
years?
was married for 17
You don't look but like 30, but we won't go there because we're talking about couples today.
Right.
Couples today.
Right.
You know, I don't want to, first of all, I love.
Right.
I love love.
Absolutely.
I love hearts. Anything related to love, I love it because I think love makes everything better.
Yes.
Love is so these new children today, love is underrated. I don't think they realize what real love is. And it's unfortunate, perfect with the song. It's unfortunate because love can cure, I'm not going to say cure, but it can help so many emotions that we go through when you're feeling a certain kind of way. Whether it's lost, whether it's lonely, whether it's angry, you're upset, you're depressed, you're sad. Find you someone that loves you, get a nice hug, have a nice conversation. Am I right? Am I on the right path?
Yes.
Woo-hoo! Okay, so we want to talk to these couples to find out about as much of their love and their marriage that they would respectfully allow us into. Now, I'm going to start with the resident queen. When it comes to your marriage, first of all, how long have you guys been married?
19 years. September the 6th will be 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Did you know that?
Yes.
Most times they don't. They're like, sometimes it's September. So good for you. So I'm going to
How
post
can you forget that?
It's a good thing. It's a good thing you married. It's the trash in these streets. But anyway, so talk to me about marriage. When you guys were dating, and I would love to hear this from. When you guys were dating and all in love and loves couldn't be without each other, what was the moment you knew that she had to be your wife?
Let me think back. Well, I mean, it was kind of at first sight, you know.
Oh. She's like, yeah, that's it.
It was in the eyes. The eyes revealed a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about you guys? When did you know that she was the woman to be your wife?
That's a deep question.
I know how to swim.
However, my great grandmother was an integral part of my life. Who raised me, and everybody I brought home, everything like hanging about her. So she came to one of our cookouts. Fast forward,
Okay.
family cookout, and then we had another one. Like, where's my meat?
What?
And then my great aunt came to me and was like, "Boy, if your grandmother was here, she would love her." So that kind of sealed the deal. On top of other things.
Wow. Wow. So how long have you guys been married?
21 in June.
Wow. Boy, this black ain't cracking. Oh my gosh, y'all look so good. All of you guys look so good to have been married for so long. And you have a daughter that's close to college, from what I understand.
She's 16 and we have a 20-year-old. He goes
Wow.
he's at Tennessee State right now.
All right, TSU. And of course, your daughter is in Atlanta,
Yes.
doing her thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's watching. Hey, look at Mama Neil here. Mama Neil.
Do your thing, smelling chick.
So, love, black love. Do you think there is a difference between love and black love?
Absolutely.
Most definitely, yeah.
Okay, talk to me. Let's talk about it.
I mean, for me, I think just growing up and, my parents, 48 years now.
Wow. Together?
Together.
Awesome.
And they've been married since 1975. High school sweethearts.
Aw.
And just seeing them and just being around my grandparents, that's all I saw. I didn't see anything different. Every generation of my family, besides my grandma, my grandfather passed away, has been married 20, 30 plus years, and it was with someone within their own race. It was never taboo to bring some. I remember. I'll tell the story. My sister's gonna kill me, but I remember she liked this white boy in high school, and my parents are like,
I know you
and it
lying.
was like, she ain't finna marry him, and, and I think it's taboo to say that because I know that interracial love is different, but I think black love, because we just understand each other more. We understand what the struggle means, and I don't know if you guys saw the movie on Netflix with Lauren London.
Oh,
These
yes,
people,
you people, yes.
I can see that struggle that, when you have someone of the opposite race, they may not always they can love you all day long, but they're not going to understand what it means for my black cousin to be out in the street trying to, get his work on and, anything. I can understand that because I have him and of course I have my son, but we understand that. So I think the love for us, me personally, I think our love goes really deep. Wow. It goes deeper in my opinion because of all that we've had to go through, what we have to prove to other people.
Yes.
So for me, black love is just really deep, meaningful love.
To throw you in real quick, I've always heard that when you come from a family that has modeled what her family, and I'm sure your family as well, has modeled long-term relationships, a loving, you're more likely to do the same thing.
It increases the likelihood because you've seen examples of how to do it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's the norm.
Okay.
And you look for it. You're attracted to it. So it makes perfect sense. As she was speaking in my mind, I said, what a foundation.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She knew what to look for.
Lou Brand, shout out.
And that's crazy because on my side of the family, there's only been one divorce that I can remember, and they're back together now.
Oh my, what?
Wow.
In the history of my
incredible.
family.
That is
One.
incredible.
That is
That is
amazing.
incredible.
It's crazy.
Why? How?
That gives
What?
me goosebumps.
But
Everybody's still married.
what do you contribute that to?
Just the struggle. I mean, understanding that whatever you're going through is minute
Oh man,
compared
I love
to
that.
real life
Yeah.
expectancies. I'm in the medical field, and I always say, you know, I look at something and people say they're going through something, and I just look at that patient on the table, or that, you know, I know there's other things that supersedes what we're going through. Something we're going through is minor. My grandmother always, I had a great grandmother that was the one that I told you that was deceased, and I never saw her with nobody else. And I'm like, Grandma, I know you. She was like, that's adultery. I would never ever marry again.
That's
But
that
outside of that, my
time.
great grandfather passed. But outside of that, there's only been one divorce in the history of my family to where we are stand to date, and they're back together again.
Wow, I love to talk about. Listening to that story makes me realize what your grandmother or great grandmother said to you. It almost sounds like when you mention it's minute. It's like fight for what you want is what I get out of that, as well as what's happening out there can't touch what's in here, because that love is what makes you want to continue to fight.
I'm a teacher and he coaches, and I think the one thing that I would say our students, they see us, they say goals.
Yeah.
I mean, we're setting that example not just for our two kids, but for the kids that, you know, attend Riverside High School. You know, when he comes in the room, oh yeah, I'm gonna stop what I'm doing. This is my man. And everybody's like, oh, they ask, oh, it's my husband. So they all know, and they look at the goals. They see us together, and you know, when they say that, it's actually a compliment.
Of course,
because I think they see that in us. And that makes me happy, because some of those students don't have a two-parent household. They only have one parent. But if they look at us and say that's goals that they want to achieve what we have, then we'll be all for it. We'll
Absolutely. How do you guys feel about Rachel looking in on you guys? Because you're setting the example for her as well. She's at that age. She's in college. Them little stanky little young girls in her ear. And when she see you two, I'm sure she thinks back to. So how do you guys feel about that?
Well, most definitely, you know, I feel as though, you know, you got to set the example for the kids. Like, you'll never know who's watching.
Well, I'm sure she is, because she's a smart young lady. Yeah, she is smart. And I'm sure any man that she brings home, he's going to have a hard time.
Right.
I agree.
Oh, boy.
Well, her expectations are, I think that her expectations are a lot bigger than what the norm is. And we're going to say the norm because I did not know that it was so many kids that came from single parent homes.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't. And she didn't either until like high school.
Right.
And she is so many things that she saw to be, you know, that we weren't the norm. She didn't know that we sit down and eat dinner together. She said most of her friends, they don't sit at a table and eat dinner. She said, Mom, the way you work and then cook and stuff like, I don't see that. Most of my friends are like, your mama cook?
Wow.
And you know, so it's things like that. It's things that she sees. So whatever she see, where we're concerned, like she see her dad put her first for everything. Like they started when she was a toddler going to daddy-daughter dance. And they stopped probably like last year. They started like a love couple going.
But they always say that a girl's first love is always her dad. Yeah.
And he always started things like, you know, taking her out, showing her what to expect, not telling her, but showing her. He would take her to the bank and help her fill out, you know, deposit slips and things like that, you know. So the example that he set for her, like if he get off at 4:00 and he's home by like 4:20, she'll know he get off at 4:00, and she's like, Dad, you'll be home in the she'll tell you the time he's gonna come home, you know. So it's routine. And so I can't say that I actually came from a family of everybody being married, but I did come from, you know, the value of good marriages and bad marriages. I see them both. So I was able to look at these marriages and choose what I wanted or choose what I needed, you know. And sometimes that stuff still reflect, you know, well, it do reflect. But in the same note, it also caused you to look back and say, you know, what were the results? what were the results. So even in a lot of times, even if we have a heated fellowship,
Girl, not the fellowship. I love that.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yes, that is wonderful.
but I always look at it and I said, is this something that's gonna cause me to be sitting in divorce court? Is this something that's gonna is it big enough to make me feel like I can't do this anymore? If it's not, you gotta let it go.
Yeah.
Wow, that's deep.
You gotta let it go.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, it's why are you holding on to the anger? If nothing is going to change in this relationship.
Wait, so you mean to tell me if y'all having a heated conversation,
Mm-hmm.
you don't say nothing like, remember that time back in 1984? You say you bring up old stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I do, but in the same if it's necessary.
But she be that mildness for me though. I kind of installed that.
The mildness?
Yeah, she kind of hot headed. She let it keep
Keisha
it
hot-headed?
going. Yeah.
I haven't seen that side of her.
Yeah.
And don't know to.
Right.
So it sounds like when you mentioned that you've inserted that mildness into her, once again, this is a couple, this is love where you teach each other, you coach each other.
True. That's true.
And
he do teach me that. I mean, he teach me that with his actions. He don't hold anything. I mean, he just do not hold anything, and it's just like.
So he just let everything go.
Hold that.
I'm with you on that.
I mean, he just don't. Like, he'll, like, he don't like conflict. He don't like to argue.
Mm-hmm.
But he calls it.
Right.
He calls it now. He calls it. He just don't like it. So, if he gets me riled up and angry and, and it's legit, or if I get him angry and it's legit, he still let it go and he expects, for it to be over in 5 minutes.
So, okay, I want you to jump in on this. Only because I'm reflecting on my past relationship of what you just said. When you have a verbal altercation and you just kind of let it go and don't talk about what happened, getting to the root of that problem, of what caused it, is that a healthy thing to just get over it and move on? Or what do you suggest? I can't say suggest, but what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, we need to define what moving on and letting it go means. Because he may have resolve and she may not.
Right.
His letting go may not be dismissal. It may just be, I'm done. I heard you. I said my piece.
Right.
I'm good. But she got stuff still in there, and she needs to communicate through that.
Of course.
Not a couple days. But she needs to talk through that, resolve that, process that. We're different.
I was just
our
going to say,
wiring
yes.
is just different. Some of us, we can address something on the spot and be okay. Some of us, we need space, we need time, and then we can come back.
Right.
The goal
That's me.
in a healthy relationship is to find that sweet spot and respect each other's boundaries so we can work through that.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so difficult or challenging for the ladies? Just talking about me. Why do you think it's so challenging for the ladies to let it go, like the gentlemen do? And another thing, why is it so hard for us? Why do we keep coming back?
Part of it is our wiring as a woman. And we talked about this on another show, that everything is connected for us. A man works in compartments. It's done. It's finished. Moving on. We're like, no, and that's just like what you did yesterday. And it's the same thing you did a year ago. And they're like, what did I do a year ago?
Yes.
I thought we were
What they gotta do with this?
What are you talking about? Everything got to do with everything.
Yeah.
That's how we are.
That's just the way we're made.
It's our wiring, and we have to learn in ourselves. Okay, all right, girl, you really gotta
Right.
We gotta learn to
leave
read
that thing where
Exactly.
it's at. It's
Exactly.
addressed. Deal with this right now before you make an explosion out of nothing.
Right.
Because we'll do that.
Right.
Right.
I think it's also about wanting to be heard. I mean,
Right.
I agree with that.
I think sometimes,
They're like, oh, here they go.
Yeah.
I see them faces.
you don't always feel like, don't worry about him. You don't always feel like we're being heard sometimes.
Yes.
Right. Right.
I mean, that's just me personally. I would say that growing up, I didn't always see like great communication. Even though my parents have been married 48 years.
Right.
You know, my mom, you know, she grew up because of how she grew up. She was always like this. She mellowed down, and she realized that because my dad helped her to mellow down. But at the same time, it was still wanting to be heard. And even when I hear some of the discussions, I feel like sometimes what my dad may say to her, he's kind of like dismissing
Right.
something she says, and so then that just makes her more angry.
Right.
And it's like, no, that's not what I said. You know, it's just also trying to make sure the point is being heard.
Right.
And so when you feel like your point's not being heard, then you try to connect something that happened previously so you can make an example.
Right.
Exactly.
And say, this is what happened here. So I'm trying to make an example for you.
Exactly. It's
So you
example.
understand, you know, what I'm talking about.
What you gonna say?
But to the expert,
Uh-huh.
the expert, how are you gonna move forth when you're constantly backtracking? I guess sports taught me a lot because I played quarterback in high school and in college. I throw an interception. I can't go out there in the next possession and be like, damn, I threw an interception. I gotta move forward. I gotta
go on to the next
I
play.
gotta move on. So that taught me a lot in life because what happened yesterday doesn't necessarily going to dictate what's going to happen tomorrow.
True.
So that's why I try, like yesterday, prime example. We was at a basketball game. The cheerleaders, these girls are young. They're gonna do. And I'm like, she looking. I'm like, Monique, calm down. It's okay. It's okay. They're not fighting. You know what I mean? They're just in their own little space. And she's sitting there. I'm like, it's okay. It's gonna be okay. She'll. I'm the type of person. I try and keep everything the same.
Yeah.
I don't like change. I don't like.
Oh boy.
I don't like. When I say change, meaning what would, the things that you're all uptight about, just let it go. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day is over. And I got that from 85 South. Not Carlos, the other one. Not DC Young Fly, but other one. Anyway, he said at the end of the day.
DC Young Fly, the comedians?
Yeah, it's three of them.
85
It's
South.
Carlos. It's
Wait.
Carlos.
I
DC
think
Young
They
it's
Fly.
South, the rap.
Carlos Smith.
They
That's his name,
toured,
yeah.
and it's 3 of them.
It's a rap
And they-
group, right?
No,
No,
That's
they're
different.
That's
Yeah.
95.
I know that's 95.
Look,
he's comedian, yes.
Different
Okay.
South.
He said at the end of the day is over, and that stuck with me. Because think about it, at the end of the day is over. So whatever went through that day, that doesn't necessarily mean it has to spill over to the next day.
Well, some things will continue over.
They will.
Right.
With us, we try and talk about it,
Right.
be done with it, and move forward.
But it's
something
not
else.
solving it a lot of
I
times.
get it, but what's the solution?
Okay, so
Keep
like
talking about
say
it.
I could be like, everything, and he'll be like, it's gonna be all right. What we gonna eat?
Yeah.
Right, because you know why?
So you know why?
Because at the end of the day, if your king is down, you're gonna be down. Right?
Right?
True.
So
Right?
you're gonna feel like you don't have that security.
Right.
Right? So if I'm down, my whole family gonna be down. So that's why I learned in sports. As a quarterback, if I'm down, the whole team gonna be down. So I
appreciate
can't
that.
walk
Yeah.
around like that.
I get
Because if
that.
you see discomfort in his eyes, you're gonna feel like, man. You understand
You
what I'm
can't
saying?
handle it.
There you go.
Right.
That's how I walk
Let
around.
me go
But-
try out for the Jaguars.
But
I got better look that way. Man.
so they can teach you how to go play by play, right? But to tie all of those together, though, even in what he's saying, like you don't want to see your partner down. You got to keep moving. But what she's also saying is, do you see me?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
mean,
him.
but
We
that-
see
but
him and
we
we hear him.
We need to know that.
Yes.
We need to know if you
You
show.
already know
Now,
that.
I know that. See, he expects
We
you
speak
to
by
do that.
actions.
Yeah, I will
Yeah,
say
yeah.
if I have a conflict with something, he'll be like, okay, I'll do it, and then he'll let me know he did it, which makes me happy. But at the same time, I still feel like, why do we have to go through all of this just to have that one action done?
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's just one. Sometimes it's just a simple question, and yeah, maybe yesterday, but that's a whole other story because there was conflict going on.
Right.
And I need
And
to,
you want to solve it.
I need
Yeah.
them to learn you got to stop always getting upset about stuff. Y'all need to sit down, chill. We're here for one reason: it's to support these people and not to show off. So I'm trying to teach them something. So I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, because I'm an educator. I'm
and
always
you're a
trying.
nurturer.
You're right, and I'm trying.
Yeah.
Yep, they even told me
And-
so. Mama Bell came out. 'Cause I was giving them napkins and stuff.
You know what
Yeah.
needs to happen in order to, like, you are there to hold her down, but then in the same note, she's there to straighten the situation.
Well, who was already out there dictating the situation when
I
she
don't
came
know.
out? I was. Was I not? I was in the hall dictating the situation when she
Right,
walked out.
but
so
it wasn't working.
it worked.
Well, anyway, that's
He's like, let's move on.
because that's not even about this marriage. That's about whole something.
Yeah,
you know-
it was a situation.
Something you said earlier is so true, and I think most ladies would agree with this when you mentioned being heard, being seen. I used to mention to my ex, if you would just shut up sometime, even if you gotta lie to me, and just say, I got you, I hear you,
Right.
all
That's
that
all-
other stuff
right,
could have been
exactly,
completely
exactly.
eliminated.
Exactly.
I would have shut it down and we would have been good.
Right.
But it didn't happen. It doesn't happen that way very often.
Right.
You were gonna say?
So you rather him tell you or show you? What's the difference? It's a big difference.
Tell me. Well, both, but I want at that moment I need for you to tell me.
And
Because
then
sometimes
say-
what you're gonna show me, that ain't it, bro.
So if I'm telling you I fried the chicken and you walk in the kitchen and it's still wrong.
Well, that's
You
a
ain't put
lie.
enough
That's
salt
a
on it.
lie.
But what I'm saying, no, but that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. That
That's
goes
a
back.
whole nother
That goes back to whether you want me to tell you or show you. Right? But that's what you understand what I'm saying. That goes back to whether you want me to tell you or show you.
Okay, so let me say.
That's what I meant.
Okay, so in couples counseling, this comes up a lot. And what I say is we have to love our partners the way they need to be loved, not the way we're comfortable being loved. They're not always one and the same. Men are very action driven, very naturally, it's just part of who you are. Many women that I speak with, they need to hear words.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I hear what you're saying of, do you want to see it through fruition? You want to see it done? Or you just want me giving you lip service? I would really like both.
I was just gonna say they don't blame on
I would really like
Yeah, I was
both.
gonna
So
say
it's
that.
really about your partner's
I am,
language.
and that's true because I am an actions person. I'm an actions person. I think that will probably be my top of the line love language. I like to see the actions, like, but it feels good to hear it.
Yes.
It feels good to hear it, but don't just say it. If you go, I want to, if you say, I'm going to say something simple, but if you say you're going to take the trash out, you know what I'm saying? And then you go lay back on the couch.
Yes.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I'm just like, if you say you're going to take the trash out, take the trash out, and then I can look at you with the Google eyes. Don't say you're going to take the trash out, you get the Google eyes, and then go lay down on the
Yes.
couch.
You can say, I'll take the trash out, give me about 30 minutes.
Right.
Cool, I'm going to leave you alone for them 30
Right,
minutes.
exactly.
But at 31, I'm about to get up in it. I'm about to get up in it.
What?
31 minutes. You told me to give you 30 minutes.
That's 59 seconds.
Plus one.
But also, I'm gonna take the trash out, but I didn't say when I'm gonna take the trash out. You know what I'm saying? As long as it get taken out.
They ain't coming till in the morning.
That's true.
I take trash out in the morning.
No.
When all the trash fill up, and then I go take it out.
So just to
You know
keep
what I'm
you
saying?
what to do, 3 o'clock in the morning.
You ain't got time.
Sleepy.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Just to
I
people, you
will
tell them
say
what to do.
that Maurice, he's really good. Like he said he's gonna do it. So I've learned how to just say, okay, if you tell me he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it. I have to go in my little corner and be like, okay, he's gonna do it. But I know he's gonna
That's the
take care of it.
compromise.
Right.
That's that
Yeah,
marriage
but that's
thing.
what you learn throughout.
I leave it alone because he says, Monica, I got it. I said, okay.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Now, I have a question for the expert. So, she say, can you call and take care of this, right? I call, I take care of it.
All this.
Right? What you asked me to do is done. Done.
Okay.
Well, what they said. You asked me to get it done. I've done it. What did they say? So I say, hello, my name is Maurice. I'm calling. And I redact the whole conversation.
Do you really do
We
that?
like
No. I'm
details.
saying I get paid. But it's on a, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my thing is, if you ask me to do something and I tell you it's done, why do you need to know the whole dialogue of the conversation? What's the people in the
might
court?
have did
What's
something
people in the
wrong.
court?
You might have did some weird
The
stuff.
stenotype.
Yeah, the
Transcript.
stenotype. That's like the word.
You might call the wrong
They like
person.
that. You asked me to get it resolved. It's
Right.
done. Why do you need a transcript of the whole conversation?
They
Is
need
she asking
details.
for a
That's what they do.
transcript,
They need
or
details.
is she asking for an overview of what
Right.
was accomplished?
I
You
asked-
got it
I
done.
asked
What
for-
happened,
I
babe?
asked for an overview.
Right.
That's what I wanted. He
But I
sees
don't
it.
remember.
He sees it as something.
Oh, so just say that.
That don't work.
Say, I don't remember, babe,
That
but
don't work.
it got taken care
That
of.
don't work.
That's not- Okay, so like for example, we had which like I just said, our son's at Tennessee State, and so I explained to my husband he was fortunate enough to have a football scholarship. Me, I was not fortunate. I had to take out loans, and no one told me what to do. And so my son's going to the financial aid office, and our son is going to the financial aid office. Yeah, our children.
All right.
Yes. And it's just trying to have a conversation. So, because here's the thing, you're dealing with people when you say certain things, and I'm just saying our son is very literal. When you tell him to say something, he's gonna say exactly what you say,
Okay.
which I know
He is.
they're gonna say in return. Here's what's what. I'm trying to prepare him for the response, and I said yes, I want to be on the call because he's only 20 years old. Them people will have him sign paperwork and have him take out all this stuff.
Yep.
And they don't even know. I said, it happened to me when I was in school, and I said, we both agreed we didn't want him to have any debt when he comes out of school.
Wow.
So we want to make sure that he's on the same page. And he's like, make sure you take care of yourself. You gotta let him take it. I said, I'm not saying he can't. But if you just this green kid, never gone to financial aid, don't know nothing about subsidized, unsubsidized, all that, you are green. You don't know.
Yeah.
So you do need to have a parent involved. And I said, the colleges are wrong if they don't
Yep.
think a parent needs to be involved
They
in
know.
that
Right.
They know.
Because they have to give you rights
Yeah.
to, like, they got to sign their form.
Trust me, you file your taxes, right? Your FAFSA form got your information, right?
Yes.
So I'm a part of that conversation.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So that was
Yeah,
that was our
yeah.
last discussion. And yes, I did ask, what did they say? Because I needed to know. Because again, my son loved him to death. Our son, he will call his dad, say one thing, he called me, say another thing. I'm like, why are you having two separate conversations?
No, it's not that. Expert.
Baby, he quick to get that expert in there.
Expert.
Love it.
My parents, they're better now than they were when I was in school. There were days where you had to go down to Western Union and what
Oh,
I'm saying? It
you
wasn't-
said something
you know
just
what I mean?
then. Western
So
Union.
every morning
Yes.
when I hit the floor, I pray, I look at his account and I make sure he have a certain amount of money in his account every day because he's away from home. So when she say that, that's what I can't think that's what she's getting to, but there's no way I want him to be in a position or be there to where he feels like he need to rely on someone else. So back to the financial aid thing, when people tell us something, I'm a type person like Devin kind of probably can agree. As a man, when you tell me something, I'm gonna hold you to that.
Absolutely.
So
As you should.
people at the school would tell me things, and I would say I'm gonna hold him to that. And then we kept calling, like getting a meeting. He kept, he's busy. I said, I'll tell you what, put me on the books for tomorrow. I'll fly up tonight. So when I tell my wife, I say, look, if he don't respect me for flying all the way to Tennessee to meet with me, then as a man, I can't hold you accountable.
Right.
So you've done that?
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
did. But you know what happened?
So
Mr.
is this
Bell.
for Reese?
Yeah.
Or this is for...
For Reese.
Free.
Oh,
Okay.
Mr. Bell. Oh, we have a call for you today at 3 o'clock.
Exactly.
Wow.
And it's done.
Yep.
Right. Right.
You know?
Okay. Okay. Well, got some straightening up in here.
Yeah.
So listen.
Note taken.
Yes.
About that action.
With the past years that you guys have been married, obviously, like any human being with breath in their body, every day is not unicorns and rainbows.
Right.
Right.
Every relationship, whether you are married or dating, you are going to hit some turbulence.
Yes. Right.
And some of that turbulence, ooh,
Right.
what keeps y'all together? When you hit those turbulent times, like, ooh, I can't believe he or she did that. What keeps you together
Our
after
friendship. Our friendship.
that?
That's
Bless
that's.
you. That's the first. I love
And
that.
honestly, he enforced that. in the beginning.
You all right with that?
That's
I
right.
don't care what she was saying about
That's
you.
right.
He said that. Where was that? So now I see what his strategy was because he decided he was gonna marry me when he first met me.
She would never let you marry that guy.
But I mean, and he enforced that. He said that he didn't want anything to interfere with the relationship. He wanted us to authentically get to know each other and build a bond and build a friendship. Because if you notice, people will hold on to friends longer than they hold on
Yes, indeed.
to marriages and relationships, you know. So that was very important to him. So once we established that friendship, I think that when he probably upset me the utmost, you know, it's the friendship that it's me thinking about. I want him to be okay. I want him to, you know, I want if he took his vitamins today.
And he drink his chocolate milk today.
Which one of these coffees he used this morning? I wonder what shoes he grabbed with that shirt. But it's the friendship. I think that the friendship has been the strongest force in holding it together.
Wow. Wow. What about you guys?
I can't see myself with anybody else. I would say.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the times I'm thinking like, okay, and I'll be honest, like it was actually within our first year of marriage. I thought, oh, this ain't gonna work, you know. And that was just within the first year. But I had to get to know him, and I would say that we kind of moved pretty fast. We didn't have necessarily the friendship established, but I had to get to know him as a person. And just like you mentioned, you can't change anybody.
Yes.
Right.
So I thought if I do all this stuff, he'll just change.
Right.
And I had to learn to accept his personality. God bless his soul. My kids are just like him. He's a busybody. He's a goer. I love him because he's a social butterfly. I'm an introvert. People don't realize I like to go home. I like to be quiet. I can sit in the corner. I'll be good. You take me out somewhere, I don't know people. I have to kind of get out of this comfort zone, talk to people. And it's different from teaching. That's totally different. I'm very much an introvert. But my kids are like that. And that's one thing I just love about him. I can take him somewhere and he can talk to anybody. And then next thing you know, people say, oh, your husband is great. And my kids are like that too. That they're the same way. They're like a busybody. They want to go, 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 go. But I can't see myself with anybody. I don't think anybody can match him to me. You know, we compliment each other. We have, like I said, we have it, but I can't see anybody else.
The first years are I think the first years are the roughest.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember in the beginning. Every time I got married, I was like, we should have never got married. This is crazy. Yes, I did. But I'm telling you how I got solved. I'm telling you how this got solved. He would always say, well, sweetie, you gotta understand, we two people coming together, you know, trying to become one. That ain't easy. That ain't easy. We gotta do this. We gotta do this right. So one time, I said it one too many times. So I was, we should have got married. He was like, well, leave it.
Okay. Called you out. Called you out.
But you know, and when he said that, I realized that I had hit that point.
Yeah.
Of,
You
that
couldn't do
he
that
was
no more.
frustrated, and you know, with that being my out, you know, so from there I was like, okay, well maybe I gotta think of some other stuff to holler. I'm going shopping.
So we've heard the ladies' response as to what keeps you there, but we gotta hear the gentleman. It wouldn't be fair if we didn't. In those moments.
Well, those moments, I would say, the friendship, the love. You know, you got to be anchored in love, and then you got to stand on that word too.
Ooh.
Stand on that word.
Yeah. You all right with me? That word. I'm not even gonna go there with y'all, but yes, good response. Great response.
I'm big on when you make a decision, stand on it. There's no trading in life get hard. Like my wife was saying, I volunteer coach at the school, and I look at it as if when times get hard, I can't go down to the hospital or go down to talk to the expert and be like, can you trade this in for something else? It's just, it's not that simple. You know, they say tough times don't last, tough people do.
Yeah.
That's just my motto. I've been through a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I lost my grandmother and my best friend, which was my cousin, in the same week.
Ooh.
Yeah, we was in my grandmother's funeral and the police came because my aunt, she was like high up in law enforcement, came in my grandmother's funeral to tell us my cousin had been murdered.
Oh my gosh.
And I wanted to give up sport. I wanted to give up with everything, but I knew what they wanted me to do. So I just look at it like, when this little stuff that we say that's tough, I look at it as something simple. Better compare to real life. That's how I look at it. So giving up is not an option.
Right.
Wow.
That's how I look at it.
I don't want to be hug up the conversation. You're being quiet.
You're great.
She is so quiet.
My week was last week, like you said.
Okay. But you have experience in this too.
Expert.
Right.
Expert.
Answering the married question.
Are you HBCU? Oh, okay.
But we still love you, regardless. When you guys see younger couples in their 20s, 30s, and how they are controlling the relationship and how they're behaving in the relationship, what advice, if you could give advice to a younger couple, and I would love to hear this from the man and the woman here, if you can give relationship advice to any couple that is in a relationship, engaged, considering getting married, considering y'all have been together for some time, what advice would you give to them?
Ladies first.
I would say, don't give up so easy. First of all, people evolve. And what they say, every 4 years people evolve.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never heard that.
So I would say, don't give up so easy, and that's the thing. But a lot of young people make decisions too fast. They decide that, okay, we're gonna get married like right away, and I don't really believe in young people getting married, like not before like 30, really.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion. I'm not saying it can't work because I know several couples that it has worked for. But they still had to go through the stuff that we're going through. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even though you can make it through it, why do you want to make it through it?
So why do you think 30 is that number?
Because I think that at 30 is when a man, I think that a woman has a little bit more maturity, and I think that for a man, he starts looking at his life for real around 30. I think that's when he started reflecting. He started, thinking about, now what do I need to move into this next phase in my life? And prior to that, if he's young, not all young people are like that, but in the same note, they still do have to go through things to get to know themselves. And I just personally think that you need to do that by yourself, or maybe in a relationship, and then you come to the table and with more stuff to offer mentally. You know what I'm saying? So I personally think that if you're going to do it, you have to stand in it.
Okay.
You have to stand in it and not give up so easily, because that's what young people do. They're like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get married because I love more than anything in the world. And some of them get married saying, and if it don't work, we just break up.
Yeah.
We didn't get married with that understanding.
Yeah. That's not what the vows is about.
You know what I'm saying? We just did not get married with that type of understanding. If it doesn't work, then we just
Call it
go
quits.
somewhere else. Call it quits. Because it's gonna be challenges. It's not all good. it's not all good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then some people think it ain't all bad things that happen in marriage. Ain't about cheating either. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it can be about inconsideration. Sometimes it can be about somebody got on drugs. Sometimes it can be about, you know, somebody don't know how to manage money and they took their family to the ground. It could be all types of things. So focus on each other and stay grounded in the word and don't give up so easy. And I think that, you know, you can make it through it if you do it.
Put that on the shirt.
What would you say? What advice would you offer to a young gentleman considering making that move?
Well, time. You're gonna have to put the time in.
Right.
What does that look like? What does that mean?
Well, you got to date. You got to go out. You know, you got to have faith and trust in one another. You know, you definitely got to, you know, put the time. As far as when I say time, you know, it age like fine wine. You know, as far as your marriage, your relationship, you know, you got to give it time.
Don't be so quick, is what you're saying. You got to court,
Yes.
as the old folks say.
Yeah.
Courtship. I love court. I love the.
Be patient.
Yes, I love the opening of the doors and pulling out the chair. What about you?
I think you have to know if the person is for you. That's first off. It was so funny because I brought probably like 3 guys home. My dad and I talk. I bring this dude home.
Yeah,
My dad-
watching football together.
Yeah, my dad-
cigars.
He made my daddy talk. My dad enjoyed, you know, and I think that was the biggest thing for me was, when you get married, you just don't marry that person. You marry their family.
Yes.
Right.
So I got along with his family, and that was the thing. And you know, I looked at the other guys I dated. You know, I met the families, and you know, I just didn't get that vibe. I felt very welcomed in his family, and like I said, my parents fell in love with him. And the main thing about Maurice was that he was willing to put the effort in to talk to my dad. My dad's like me; he's an introvert. He does not really. He's not going to be the one to start the conversation. And so the fact that he did that meant something to me. So I think when young people get married, they just see each other. Oh, we're going to get married. They forget about all this other stuff. And I'll tell you right now, if her mama don't like you, you think that 20 years down the line it's going to change. It's not going to change. And so you have to figure out, now you got grandkids. There's going to be added stress onto your relationship, that you undue stress that you don't want. And then as a child, you don't want to not have your relationship with your parents or family members if no one gets along. So I think they have to look at who they're marrying, because again, it's just not that one person. They're marrying the whole entire family, and they have to love the whole entire family. They can't just say, well, I love him, I ain't got to talk to his mama, I ain't got to deal with his grandma. Yes, you do, because they raised him. And I was gonna say that it's very disrespectful if you think you can marry a man and not respect his mother or his grandmother or anybody in his family, because I mean, you would want that.
He's close to.
And he's and listen, house full of women, aunties everywhere. So I mean, all he has is a bunch of women, and so I always went in with that respectful attitude. But like I said, the young people, they so quick to get mad, and she ain't gotta like me, and da da da. Yes, she does, sweetheart. She do gotta like you, a little bit, You know, at least enough where she can grow on you.
Yes.
You know, I actually knew a young lady that did not get along with the in-laws, the mother, and she actually told the husband, "Your mama can't come here no more."
What?
Ask me if they're still married.
No.
Of course not. Like, but for her to think that would be okay.
Right.
Do you really? What?
Right.
Do you think he gonna listen to you?
Right. And if he do,
then that's a
I
problem
don't like him.
Exactly.
You know, I would never make him choose his family.
Of course not.
Or choose
You would
me
never
over
win
his
that
family.
one.
I would never. There are certain things I'm just never going to even cross.
Yep.
When I met him, his aunt meant everything to him. Everything to him. His grandfather. He's a family man. He loves his family. And I would not stand in the way of that for nothing in the world. Even if I don't agree with some things, I stand back and I let him do what he do with his family. But I love his family. His family loves me, and we get along really well and he gets along really well with my family. But I would never,
it'll never work.
never make him choose that. And people do that. If you're gonna do that, well, I tell you what. Well, we gonna have it over here, and you go over there, and oh my God, how do you do that?
Yeah.
It's like a sense of selfishness and like, you know, they just. I don't know. It's different. Like I said, the generation's a little bit different.
Yeah,
but and like Davin said, you got to take the time to kind of court. You can't.
And you'll find it out.
Yeah, you can't get to know the family by just only isolating yourself to him. And then sometimes you have to give it a chance too, because you know, even as a mother with the son, I'm not saying I'm going to just open my arms to the first young lady.
Right.
But I want to be open-minded. But you gotta be willing to get to know me, because again, my son, I mean, I'm gonna say he's something of a mom, but he loved me. He called me every single day, and I know whoever he brings home is going to potentially be the right person. But that's just something I saw when I met him. Like out of my other relationships, when he made my dad talk, he got along with my family. I got along with his family. I said, okay, this could work. This could work. Yeah.
So, Mr. Mo, what advice would you have to gentlemen?
I would go back to what Keisha said earlier. It's rare these days to where they see parents, two-parent household.
Absolutely.
So they look at it, well, hell, daddy ain't here, or mama ain't here. So they so quick to just up and just get out of it, like you were saying earlier. And that's just, shouldn't be an option. But I think they get into it for like a lot of the wrong reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, we mentor one of our kids that used to play at Lee, and right now he's training down in Tampa, getting ready for the NFL draft.
Wow.
And him and his girlfriend, this kid come from Eureka.
Oh wow!
Listen, he got in so much trouble as a youth. Like he didn't I didn't think he was gonna make it. I didn't know him then, but when I heard his story, I kind of like watched him. Like this kid have graduated high school, kid have graduated college. He's like 3 classes away from his master's. Wow. When I tell you, the most humble kid ever, he's doing it for the right reasons. His fiance, she's graduated from FAM. She has a nursing degree. I mean,
talk about a turnaround,
right?
Because somewhere along the way, love entered his life.
Yeah. That part.
That's what I was saying earlier.
Right. So what I'm saying is that everybody don't see it that way. But now they're so quick to say, "Oh, mom and daddy ain't together, so I don't care." So, and that's how they look at it. So I would say, you know, just they got to just stay focused.
Yeah.
And it was funny because we was on the road trip. There was the girls and the band were watching Beyonce's Homecoming, and they brought up Jay-Z, and I think kind of what Keisha had said. Oh, well, you know, he cheated on her, and I know that's a touchy subject, but they were like kind of judging her for like staying.
Beyonce?
Yeah. And I don't think you can judge her situation.
Right.
You know, you can't judge that because you weren't there. You don't know what her values were. And yes, that could be an all deal but you know, good and bad.
Yeah.
Good and bad. You can't just all of a sudden say, okay, well, you know, bump you and you know. However she dealt with how she dealt with, but I think that's also one thing. Is that one, they get married too young, they haven't had a chance to really experience life.
Right.
And you have to be ready to commit yourself.
Right.
So if you haven't dated and you haven't,
and you're dealing with humans.
Yeah.
I mean, humans.
Right.
Humans are not perfect.
Right. And so they'll be quick to say, "Oh, he cheated, I'm gone."
Right.
And that's what they do. And I'm not saying, and I get it. And you know, and I mean, when you're young, yes, but you've been with that person 3-4 years and just down the drain. You're not even going to try to maybe go counseling, try to work it out, try to figure out why it happened.
What happened? Yeah.
You know, because people do things for a certain reason.
There's
always a reason behind it.
So go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, but I think a lot of it, the youth is they like roommates when they get married. I don't think they come together as one unit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're most like roommates.
Man.
You know?
Yeah, their lives never blend.
Right.
You know, and not to downplay it all. Love them both, but I know a married couple right now. Love them both so dearly, but they're living like roommates.
There you go.
When you walk into their apartment, it's just like, this looks like college dorm. Like, where's the grown up in here? And that, to me, that is a sign of.
And then just like she said, when family function, you go in his family, she go in her family,
Right.
we go in separate ways. And
No,
they
we
come
gotta
back
figure
together
out how to
and
do
like,
this
you're
together.
doing everything as
Yeah.
a unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, too, I'm listening to all of this, and your counsel, who you have around you, really makes a significant difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember in my courting time, right? Something that my parents have been married for many, many years as well, and they always said you need to have married friends when you're married, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, my friends.
Right.
And he said it's a different life.
It is.
And it doesn't mean your friends aren't valuable anymore, but it's
Right.
a different mindset when you're married. When
Right.
you're dating,
Right.
if you say I'm done and it's that quick, it could truly
Right.
be that quick.
But when you're
When you're
married,
married, you better
it's
sit
too
on
much
that.
other stuff.
Because there's a lot more on the line.
Right.
There's a lot
Right.
more.
Especially when
So-
you have kids and stuff involved,
It's a
and you
lot.
have, it's just so much. You have all this stuff that you have together. It's not about the material things,
Correct.
but your life is really combined. And there are, I'm not trying to justify anything from either one of us because that's not a problem we've had. But if there is a situation when I was single, let me just put it like that. When I was single and I would talk to married women and they would be like, oh, I'm cheating. And I'm like, girl, you crazy. I'll be out of there. Ain't no way to marry.
Yeah.
Girl, please. What? The second time? What? Uh-uh. Now, kids outside of marriage, that's something different. But when that was my opinion as a single woman. But then when I got married, I realized it was more to it without even going through it. I realized it was more to it. I realized, like, we literally our families are married. Our daughter, she can't, ain't nobody gonna deal with him with her. Ain't nobody, there's no woman,
No, it's like, no.
and no woman gonna stay with him with her. because that is his world. And she is her example of a man is her dad.
That's wonderful.
You understand? I know that it's somebody to deal with, but I'm saying, like, in a sarcastic way, but I'm saying there's too much more involved.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom pick up the phone and call him, and they're on the phone for hours, and then hang up, and both of them say, "Ooh, they talked." She'll call me, "Ooh,
She long-winded.
Lord have mercy, he can talk." And he be like, "Well, let me tell you about the mother-in-law, boy. She talk." That's what I'm over there.
But they
what
both
I'm
love
saying
each other.
is, exactly. Let me tell you something. Ain't nobody. She see nothing but her son-in-law.
Yeah.
And it's the same as with my sister's husband. Her son-in-laws, my mom, she really expressed once her entire prayer in life was to see her daughters, his two daughters, grow up and get married, and she don't have to worry about them.
Yeah.
And when the son-in-laws that she had, she loved them more than anything in the world. She just like, you know what? I'm not trying to die, but I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay because I have my daughters are okay,
Yeah.
and my grandkids are all achieving, and so and that's what I'm saying. It's same as with his family. I'm really close with his family, so it's just like, how do you dissolve that? It's not about you anymore.
It's not that simple.
It ain't.
It's not.
It's not about you anymore. It's about everybody.
If you've merged your lives.
If you
I
merge
was just
your
gonna
lives.
say that.
Right.
If you merge life, you're not
If
the
you merge
roommate
your
couple.
Right,
Exactly.
Not a roommate.
right.
I see you got some things dribbled out on that scribbled
I
out.
do,
on
and
that
I've been writing more.
paper. Okay. We would
They're
love to
dropping
hear
some
from you.
gems in
I
here.
would love to hear from you.
So I told y'all before we started recording, I said I was listening to Luther. Luther does it
Yes.
for me all the time, right? You
Big
wanna
one or the little one?
Okay, 'cause there is a difference.
so the big Luther really takes me in. But I
Yes.
listen to this. You're right about it. I had to pause for a second. It was Big Luther I was singing
There
to.
you go.
It was. But when I was thinking about marriage, I was thinking about couples I've worked with, couples I'm working with now, and then my family relationships as well. Because like Keisha, I saw the really strong, amazing couples, like the couple goals, as the teens say, and then I saw, okay, don't do that.
Right.
Okay.
That ain't it.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So they're together, but they're not together.
Right.
A lot of that.
Right. So I was thinking about all of that, and I was writing. One of the things that came to me was that a marriage, it should enhance each other's strengths, create safety to build weaknesses up, and provide emotional safety to resolve insecurities.
Well, that's deep.
I was really thinking
Wow.
this black love thing. Let me
Isn't
dig
it amazing?
in. It's a special thing. It's a special thing. It's an incredible thing, and when it's done right, you can't go
When
wrong.
it's done right, is the key word.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. And when it's strong and solid, you can really overcome just about anything together. That's what I've seen. That's what I'm living. That's what I've seen. That's what I've seen couples go through in couples counseling. When they both meet at the table
Yeah.
with the same effort, interest, all of that, they resolve.
So let me ask you this: with the work that you do, the couples you work with, I'm sure you work with all races. It appears as though the black and brown race struggles a little bit with numbers when it comes to the marriage retention than any other race. Why do you think that is?
When I'm working with a couple, I go back to tell me your love story and tell me what you've seen.
What you've seen as in?
What you've seen growing up, right? Because this is not the commonality, what we're discussing tonight. This is not the usual that I hear. I usually hear there weren't a lot of marriages, or there was a lot of abuse, there was a lot of addiction. So when I look at what they're dealing with now, it's a repetition.
It's a cycle.
Oftentimes, it's a cycle, right?
Uh-huh.
Because for many of us, when we have that solid foundation, even if we're cutting up, we could usually turn to someone and they'll say, hey,
Yeah.
hey,
CSO.
right?
Straighten
Hey.
it out.
In my family, all they gotta say is A,
Okay.
right? And I'm like,
That's that New York.
you right.
Mhm.
Yes, exactly.
Uh-huh.
You right. That's usually how it goes, right? When you don't have that, you're grasping at straws. You're on Instagram. You're talking to your single friends that don't even know where to begin because they haven't even been doing the work. So I'm not talking about the single friends that, you know, if the right one come, they'll be ready. I'm talking about the ones that's just
Don't want to be ready.
Yeah.
they don't care to be ready.
True.
They don't want to be ready. That's not where their focus is, right? So that's a really big thing that I find in the couples that struggle. And I've had younger couples. I've had ex-professional athletes. I've had quite a combination. The foundation was not solid to begin with. So now we have to go back, knock it down, and start from scratch. We got to start on
And
the
that's
friendship.
possible.
Oh yeah.
So it's never too late to get it right.
If they're invested.
Reset button.
If they're invested.
The reset button.
Right.
Wow.
If they're invested. And one of the rules that I have in therapy, and my business partner and I share this same thing. If the infidelity is continuing, I'm not working with you.
Right.
Oh,
Because
good for
you're
you.
wasting time.
Right.
I'm not here to do that. Don't play. If you're not willing to stop what has caused the brokenness, we're not ready.
Wow.
That's good.
I mean, that's real.
Yeah, what are we
Because
doing?
what's the point?
What are we doing?
Wasting each other's
What
time.
are we doing? It's like seeing the wound bleeding and we're saying just, it's okay. We'll get to that later. No, if we don't clean that up now and close it up, you gonna die.
Lead out, yeah.
And you're not dying on my watch.
Yeah.
No.
And I think the word contentment is huge in marriages.
What do you mean?
We all get content.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like men, we so used to like we gotta take care of this family. So we used to chasing, making sure everybody's good, everybody's comfortable. You know what I mean? And we kind of sort of like, oh, we gotta take mom out to eat. We gotta go. You know what I mean? Do the things that we used to do. And I think, you know, she'll tell you. But when we go do things, she's such like she said it, like an introvert. Like I gotta plan stuff. You know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes I want to come home and be like, okay, I have this plan. You know what I mean? I have that plan. You know what I'm saying? Like that just gives us, well, I don't know about it, but to me,
Right. 'Cause he
I'm
ain't
so
gonna
used
play
to like, you know, like, I'll call, you know, to my mutual friend, I'll
He'll
call
tell
and
you
be
about
like, you
something
know,
need to be done.
yeah, let's go out and, you know,
Yeah,
let's go do this, let's go
Yeah.
do that. You know, it's just like sometimes, you know, we want to feel like, okay,
Well, I planned this.
Oh.
I mean, Tiffany called me. Tiffany called me. I said, hey. I said, let's go do the
But you
show with
understand what I'm
Keisha.
Take advantage of the evening, don't know.
Yeah.
You leave here, don't go straight to the house.
And that's not true because our mutual friends, we were he was calling, I was telling him what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I'm not a big fan. I guess I like to okay, so I'll say this. When I was in college, well, when I went to college, I was in a relationship. Got out of a relationship. I was just in relationships.
Yeah.
I didn't get to. I didn't. I know. I
That's great.
didn't date.
They didn't
So
make
I didn't
See,
date.
that's what they're talking about.
I'm wasting time on it.
So
that.
when you playing stuff, it makes me feel good. It gives me
I
that.
feel good.
I know. I try to play stuff, but that's one of his great qualities. But I said we're going to. I said, hey, let's go to Essence. I said let's plan a trip.
Stop. Who planned it?
No.
Who planned it?
Okay, first of all, I'm going back. Listen, I know I'm off track. Listen, I planned this trip, right? I said, let's go to Essence. He get on a group chat, hey, y'all want to go to Essence? First of all, I was like, me and you. And now you inviting Tom, Dick, and Harry, which is fine. But now, see,
That's
I
a
just...
way for all of us to bond.
Right. But you
That's
know
that
what?
family
Now see,
feeling.
you see them? That's us turn around. That's us turn around.
That's that family.
Because he say, yeah, let's go to this, let's go to that, let's go to this, let's go to that. And then he be like, you playing the thing here? Bitch, go down there. Well, you crucial.
We plant the seed. We plant the seed for y'all.
You crucial. Everything. You ain't doing nothing brother asked you to do. Brother been asked you to do this. Now we ain't going to the brother asked you to do that a long time ago. And you ain't doing what brother asked you to do. See, I do.
Take you on a dookie chase and y'all have a good meal.
But last time we went,
We did. It's just
Okay.
And I don't mind. I don't mind.
You crying?
When I
Yeah.
laughed,
Oh, okay. Dang. Girl, what you done done to that man? You didn't play.
you don't fall
You know, when I sit here and look at how the communication goes and the fun that is having, it just reminds me of the importance of being able to do this.
Right.
Again, I know of couples that is just so serious and demilitant that they don't do this. And this is part of that marriage journey. This is part of that black love. This is it. You've got to find a way to inject some fun, some laughter, some happiness and joy into it. I mean, you just have to. Bottom line. I want to ask you the same question that I asked the guest as far as advice. From a professional standpoint, I'm sure you see a bunch of younger, well, I'm assuming.
It's a mix, actually.
Okay, so these younger couples, from what you hear in your sessions, what advice would you offer?
That's loaded, right? Because as a therapist, we say we don't give advice.
Oh, is that what y'all claim?
We don't give advice. We give guidance. We give suggestions.
Okay, well, what
Right?
suggestion?
But it's your life. You do what you want. So slowing down is a real thing, right?
What do you mean?
We gotta pump our brakes a little bit. We are, and I will say for the younger generation, they are an instant gratification group. So when things are not jazzing quickly, it's like, I'm out.
Right.
Okay.
So that's something I've seen. I tend to see more of the let's keep working with my older couples. I will say that.
Yeah.
So, and that's a generational thing
Right.
that I have seen, right? Because I would say and just thinking about family as well, the older couples in my family, divorce just was not even a conversation.
Right.
But I'll be honest, sometimes it should have been.
Right. Exactly.
right? But I do know that culturally,
Yeah.
generationally,
Yeah.
it just wasn't
Yeah.
part of the vows.
Yeah.
But what I have seen is that divorce is too quick of an option. Why are we
Yep.
going
Yeah,
to the
it is.
extreme?
Yep.
Right.
So that's something that I say, is that truly our only option? Is that really our only option? If you really believe that you can continue life without this human being, by all means. But if you know you're going to be doubling back in a week after you calm down,
Yeah.
just breathe and let's talk through some things, right? So that's what I would say. If you believe you have something worth fighting for, fight for it.
Right.
That's
Right.
major.
Right.
Fight for it, right? Because it's a lot to lose. Even before you have children, there's a lot to lose. It's a companion, right?
Yeah.
It's and talking about the word piece, there's a purpose that's being aborted here.
Oh, a purpose that's being
A
aborted.
purpose. There's a purpose in your union. So if you decide to walk away, you're saying, I also believe this purpose is no longer. Are you sure?
Yeah. Right? Jeez.
Right.
It's funny because
Yeah.
we had our
Yeah, I was getting to that.
Yeah, she-
You've been quiet the whole time.
Right.
And I know this is not about singles. However, your words are valid. Your feelings are valid. And you've been down this road before. So I'm just making sure.
I was just gonna say you married before.
Yeah, 17 years. Is there anything that you want to share with younger couples or with couples about marriage? Or is there something you would do differently? Or just say something.
Say something.
Say something.
Yes.
Well, I just didn't want to make it. I wanted to keep the love flowing, so I didn't want to bring divorce into the conversation.
Okay, it doesn't have to necessarily be divorce, but just maybe a
I
lesson.
mean, but if that's okay. Okay. Well, right. Correct.
Yes.
So, every single thing that every person in this room has said is it. It is all important because I was way too young getting married. I was a child.
Oh, wow.
So therefore, there were no foundations
Yeah.
had. None. There was no friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm just honest, there was no love. We didn't have the foundation of standing on the Bible.
Yep.
We didn't have the foundation of family. It was like his family, my family. I came from a family that, we're a family. Like, we do family stuff. Whereas his family,
Okay.
so
he didn't have that example.
he did not have that example. So it was just wrong. It was not built on a foundation. It was built on sand.
Oh, wow.
Quicksand. The quicksand lasted a few years.
Yeah.
But literally, I just think that the 17 years was acquired due to me trying to,
I was going to say that. Yeah. Yep. Trying to make it work.
trying to make it work.
Yeah.
quicksand.
Yep.
Trying to mold quicksand.
Yeah.
So every single thing that they have said is everything. Like, just it, period. Literally everything. And all of those things are things that we did not have. And all of those things I now know
Yep.
are the reasons why it did not last.
Yeah. Yeah.
Period.
So that next husband, he about to be lucky. 'Cause it's about to be on. It's about to be on. You about to be on another phenomenal
Get
wife.
a whole bunch of married friends.
And anyone that I, surround myself with is married. And I promise you, I am so thankful because I have learned so much from beautiful married couples like this. It is gold.
Yeah.
It is gold.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I promise you, you are absolutely correct. Whoever he is.
Yeah, he's going to be one lucky
Oh,
man.
Watch out, fella.
Yeah.
We are in it because, I've always had the... again, like Keisha was saying, I saw both. I saw married and I saw unmarried. But I believe that I have the right foundation that was put into me enough. I'll say enough to, do marriage the right way. You know what I'm saying? Especially the second time around with having the tools and being of age, know, and wiser.
You're not who you were back then.
Right.
Yeah, and now you have some foundation. Now you have some goals.
True.
So it's just so different. It's I love this. I love
me too.
Love. I've always loved love. I'm not a bitter divorcee. I love love, and I promote love. I don't promote divorce because that was the hardest thing that I had. That was the biggest fail of my life for me.
It wasn't a fail. You got wonderful kids out of it.
That's how I felt though. I felt because like he said, like Reese said, you don't get married to get divorced. That's not what you're supposed to do. It's supposed to be till death do us part. And that's what I meant for it to be, even in my childhood mind. Yeah. But so I'm thankful to see this love. That's why I was just quiet because I was taking it all in. And I'm just so appreciative of.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree.
The black love.
You were gonna say something?
No. Just listen.
Say something.
I mean, there's many aspects that you have to put together to keep it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you start one thing, you got to continue to do it. You know what I mean? Like that's in all aspects. You know what I mean?
It's work.
Yeah.
We had our on Wednesdays or early weeks we have our mental health Wednesdays, and it's so funny how they talk about relationships. And I'm sorry. Yes, I don't do mental health Wednesdays with these kids because they're like all asleep. But it was well, no, not this group. Not this group. Yeah. But it was yeah.
Am I lying?
Yes.
No. Edibles is real.
Listen, I drive past them every morning, but I'm like,
oh wow.
Yeah. But it was so funny how all they kind of talked about was the negative aspects. Well, if you're in an abusive relationship, or if you're in this, there was not one single message in there that said anything about love.
Oh wow.
And I think we forget that even though they are high school students, some of them get in relationships and they fall in love. Yes, and they should, and that is their first relationship. But everything was like, well, if you're in an abusive relationship, you need to do this, and if they say this, make it become controlling. You need to watch out for this. Now coming here and talking. Maybe next time I'll share that, with my students that, we didn't talk about this, but I said, that was all negative. And I may actually let them know, you guys didn't put any positive spin on relationships. You have to say that you forget that there are some people, i.e. my parents, who become high school sweethearts. And my other coach, he's a high school sweetheart. They stayed together since high school, and so their struggle is real because they're young and they stay together for all these years.
But see, they also have to know that it's not negative, because what I realize is that kids a lot of times they think that in their young minds that when you're married and you're happy, you're happy married, that you're supposed to be like happy, walking around kissing and stitching together and all that. Because I can even remember times that, like, say for instance, we have a heated fellowship. And
I just love that.
You wrote that down? And my daughter, she would say, "Don't get a divorce." Oh, what? We just disagreed about what we gonna eat.
You want Popeyes? I want KFC.
Which is what
they don't really know that you are supposed you're gonna have disagreements.
Yes.
So they automatically think negative. So what they do is grab all these negative things. But I've always said, which I didn't see in my household, just like I'm not. You know how people say, well, your kids, don't let your kids see you argue. They say, how?
You know what?
How though?
When you said that, I've never ever seen my parents argue.
Okay,
wow.
But
my grandparents.
That's not normal.
And that's how I am now.
That's not normal. But
No, he did not.
But I'm just saying, though,
It should
yeah.
go
And that may be
It's shit on
true.
the household too.
That may be true.
Every
But
household
I've
different,
always
though.
felt
Every
like
household ran
the
different.
kids,
Right,
just like
right.
they may see you have a disagreement, they need to see you love on one another.
Yes.
I saw
They
that
need
part.
to see
And
that.
I never saw that other part. Never.
This
But
was
that's a
going
good thing,
down.
but you
No,
know,
no.
you
And I
need
know-
to see that a lot.
Now I know what I know. I know it was going
Was
down.
it a
Right.
shock to you when you seen
I
that?
never saw it.
I'm talking about outside of your household.
Oh yes. Okay.
Exactly. But that's how it
Right.
happened.
I ain't never seen. But that is true. Like you
Yeah.
said, I know it went down,
Right.
but I never saw
So-
it.
It's like I never seen my grandparents affectionate, but they had 6 kids. Like, where did
You ain't
this
gotta
come
be
from?
Okay,
Like,
so now.
no, I'm just saying.
You knew.
She
yeah.
said she never seen affection, but the same thing. Back in the day,
I'm
you
just
didn't,
saying.
you
I
didn't see
never
your
seen
grandparents'
anything.
affection.
How
really.
did you get pregnant, lady?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't even see y'all hug.
He don't kiss you goodbye in the morning.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
doesn't talk to you.
Well, like
Okay.
it's after 60 years of marriage, so they say.
I
well,
mean,
they
but
gotta
I
keep
was
it
around
content,
when it was
you know what I'm
30
saying?
Yeah.
So some days I have to leave at 5 o'clock. Some days I have to leave at 6 o'clock. And if I leave before her, I'd be like, you know, if I disrupt her sleep, I said, no. I'm the type, hell, wake me up.
Right. But see, we
What's
never,
going on?
we
Wake me
never
up. You know what
leave
I'm
each
saying?
other,
But-
or we never leave each other, or approach each other without kissing.
Right.
And we say we love each other every single day.
Right.
Every single day.
Right.
But we even when we're sleeping, because he had to be to work like
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll be up early
In the
like
morning,
you and
yeah.
I just kiss her
He'll
and
come
head
and
out the
kiss
door.
and go down the
See,
door.
She don't mom play that day.
No, listen, that's not what he
Well, you
does.
should be asleep.
That's not what he does.
like Lil Jon.
That's not
What he do? What he do?
Listen.
Ooh, we got some tea coming. We got some tea coming. What
Hey,
he do, girl?
I'm gone.
Give it some sugar.
Start something.
Like half the time, I don't even know I got some sugar.
Now, when I leave in the morning, I'll go here, I'll rub his shoulder. I'm leaving. I'm quiet with it. He got a very deep voice because, like, you know, we both coach, but you know, we both loud when we need to be
So he
loud.
coaching with
Yeah.
me.
Okay, I'm up. And he know once I'm up, I'm up.
I'm up, yeah, me too.
I can't go back to sleep because I can't.
Yeah.
But I don't do no talking. I just leave quiet and it's gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't say nothing. I'm going and that.
That's what I
just
need
go
now.
on.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
my side of the bed,
Right.
this is the bathroom. She turned all the damn lights on. Hit me. I walk through the house, I'm like this. But she turned all the lights on. And she good with it. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, though, I respect that.
Stories.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm telling you.
He gotta
I'm
use
telling
the
the
flashlight on his phone. It's so dark.
Yes.
I do too.
Listen. And she Bluetooth the damn news and it's blocking.
Oh,
But see, you know what,
no.
though? Sleeping through a black college dorm with a bunch of football players, I'm good with it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can turn all the lights on in the room. If I'm asleep, I'm asleep.
Yeah.
Because he should be snoring, so I don't think I need to.
Yeah.
But I'm saying though, like, no, it's not a man thing. Sleep is sleep.
That is a
Oh.
bad thing.
Sleep.
Like, he
I
can
work
sleep
hard.
all night on this couch.
Sleep is hard. Sometimes.
Like, we wake up.
Yeah.
Alignment neck.
Yes. Who I need a massage?
Yeah.
But you understand what I'm saying? I mean, it's just like,
But that's what makes it so beautiful, though. That's what makes this so beautiful. Yay! So listen, you know we always like to say we're not gonna keep y'all here forever. We've been talking for a while. We can keep going because this is
this needs to be a
beautiful.
part two.
We want to show the example that real black love does exist, and here we have it. So I want to go around the room. Last words. We're gonna put a bow on it and let y'all go. Any last words?
Not really.
Okay. Kish, any last words?
That's that, y'all.
Right. Love each other. Be patient with each other. We have to be patient.
Yes.
Love each other's families. You know, pay attention to how they are with their families, and that will tell you a lot about how you love each other.
Yes,
That will
indeed.
tell you a lot.
That's real. That's real.
So, and
I
two
have
ignorant
flashbacks.
families don't need to get married.
Not ignorant. Ignorant.
One of them families gotta have some sense.
That is so true. That is so real. What about you, CSO? Final words?
Well, as I said, I love love.
Mhm.
I love black love, and I think the institution of marriage, when done correctly, is
Beautiful.
everything.
Mhm.
It's beautiful. It is the most beautiful thing that two people can come together and do. So I definitely promote love in marriage.
Amen to
And
that.
I'm so happy to see
This.
the veterans
Yes. Yes.
do marriage so well. I totally respect.
You know he was a veteran. Serious. How long y'all been married?
She calling us
21 years.
Y'all veterans.
Yep.
in the marriage game.
In the
not
marriage
marriage.
game,
Yes.
because
Nothing.
and I don't even know your ages. I think I know a roundabout, but you're a perfect example of a younger, marriage, and it being beautiful.
Yeah, it is definitely that.
So my hat goes off to both of you, married people.
Married folk. I agree.
Couples, because honestly, if it's going to be done, this is how I see it to be.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
Mr. Kia, you have any final words? And also, I want you to give your contact info, your website, and all that.
Sure. Okay, so final words first.
Yes.
I'll say that anything of value takes work.
Okay.
Period.
That's a complete sentence.
Yes.
Right.
How you can reach me in my company. We're Acknowledge You Counseling and Consulting Services. Our website is acknowledgeyou.com. We are now taking clients in person and virtual. We have moved into our space.
Oh, what a blessing.
In our department. We're so excited.
That's wonderful.
So, yes, we are accepting clients. We take major insurances, EAP, self-pay, reduced rate. So just reach out. You can call us. You can contact us on the website. Our number is 904-370-3282. You can also text that number. So I look forward to hearing from you guys.
Oh, yeah, I'm so proud of y'all.
Thank you,
That's
thank
wonderful. Mo, final words.
Be willing to grow. You're not going to stay the same, and be willing to accept the other person for who they are. Don't try to change the person, but be willing to grow with that person.
Mr. Mo?
I'm like, damn, we done said it all.
Okay. Well, we're not done just quite
Keep
yet.
it simple.
We're going to have a little fun before we go. It's all good. It's all clean fun. So, y'all seen the 14 question challenge?
No.
You
Y'all don't be on
probably seen a
social. Yo, they
variation.
maybe didn't know what it was called,
Yeah.
but it's when someone asks a question to the couples, and you don't speak. You just point to the other person. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to do you guys, and CSO was going to do Mo and Mo. Mo now.
Mo now.
Okay.
Mo now.
So. Yeah. So remember, it's non-verbal. You just point to the person.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. I like it.
Okay. Who is more dramatic? Who is more competitive?
They looking at each other. Who is it?
Okay. Here's a different one. Who is more likely to pick up a stray animal? Really? Wow. So, who is more expressive? Shows their emotions on their face more. Who is more likely to strike up a conversation with a stranger?
We both kind of like that, but I would say me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's more likely to eat something very strange? Really? I think we know the answer to this one. Who has more patience? I figured this much. So who's more tech savvy? Who's more trusting?
Me.
I think we're both trusting.
Okay, last question. Who is more likely to burn something while cooking? Oh. Can't cook?
Because I do most of the cooking.
So when he do, he burn it.
No.
No, he don't burn it, but if it was to get burnt.
If it was to get burned, it'd be by him. Okay. But we learned some other things about the two of them. You ready? All right. Your
Okay.
turn.
So, who initiated the first kiss?
Wait.
They pointed to themselves.
I think it was mutual.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was.
Okay.
He always said it was me, but okay.
Okay.
You remember that?
Who apologizes first after a fight?
Oh.
I can see that because of how she explained herself to me. Okay. Who was the funny one?
I'm all over here. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Okay. Who was more romantic?
Look at his face.
You better give me my props.
I think it's both.
Okay. Who was the most patient? Okay. Who is the better cook?
Both of them.
He said that with conviction.
Both of them cook very well, though.
I want to. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Who said I love you first?
Me.
Okay. Who takes longer to get ready in the morning?
That's always gonna be the case. That's right.
Who is grumpier in the morning?
Oh.
Who is more stubborn?
Yeah, me. I would say.
Okay. Who is the bigger baby when sick?
That's usually
Yeah.
I don't get sick though.
Okay. Well, we know the answer to this. Who is the social butterfly? Okay. Who is the messy one?
Point your finger at yourself. That big old
Can I
closet.
explain?
No,
I'm sorry.
you cannot explain.
2 seconds. I was taught when you're cooking,
When you talking about
clean
that,
as you go.
Yeah.
you said messy,
Yeah,
right?
everywhere.
You talking about?
We talking about like messy, like gossiping.
Oh,
Oh,
that kind of
that
stuff.
kind of
that.
Oh, I thought you
No,
meant like
neither.
things all
What?
around.
No, what messy work?
Yeah,
you think it was?
the cleanliness.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
y'all see what my mind had.
He's clean the kitchen. The rest of the house?
He like, I ain't even gonna say nothing.
Okay, last but not least, who spends the most money?
And he admits that. That's awesome. Well, before we started, I think I heard you say about a closet.
Yes.
You know what?
What? I heard it. I just want to verify. That's all,
I
bro.
just had my little corner.
And he had the rest of the
That's
closet.
different.
Is it still that way today?
Oh yeah, he still has a big closet.
Yeah, it's different though, boy.
Wow.
He has more
She
shoes.
didn't say that, but he had. I have.
No, you got the bigger closet.
But he has
Women, they
two
got to have that
closets.
closet.
He has 2 closets,
Same thing.
and I see his stuff seeking into my closet. And I'm like, why your stuff in my closet? You don't have no closet around here. Ain't no my around here. I got my stuff. Ain't no my
The
around here.
other closet is shared. It's
Okay.
my half over here, his half is over there. He still has, so both, the second closet is not mine.
Ain't no half. I
Half my stuff
a
is there,
few
your other
jackets and
stuff- no.
about 2 blazers. That's it.
That's not true. You
Well,
have
that's
your
all I
Letterman
was having
jacket in
in her
there,
closet.
you have your
Just a
other
little
stuff in
something.
there. He got, dude got bins of clothes
Oh wow.
that he needs to donate, but he gotta go through them first.
Yeah, that's
Oh, they definitely don't go through their clothes.
Thank
They
you.
don't go
I was
through
trying to. No, not yet, not yet.
Like,
But you know what?
Donate the stuff.
That's a 32.
When you gonna get
Keisha, you know what?
Listen, hey,
Hey, I'm saving. I'm planning on getting back in that 32.
I'm enjoying this whole thing.
Okay.
Did you hear what he said?
you gonna get back in.
Get back in them.
I plan on getting back in them 32. One day.
we all say that.
Right.
Girl with a big head and skinny body.
Okay.
Hey, little Reese is 32, so no. Donate to her.
She ain't really no 32. She mean 36 really though. Bro. She gonna put
That's That is awesome. Listen, as y'all can see, beautiful love is a great thing. Black love is a great thing. You can laugh and have a good time. I'm gonna piggyback off of what CSO said about loving love. I am a love hustler. I'm a love hustler, and I'm praying that one day it comes back to me.
Yeah, okay.
However, I stand by what I said earlier. If you lead with love. That's it.
That's right.
Lead with love, period. If you do that, lead with love and get in that word. Stay grounded in that word, and you can't go wrong. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We kept you a little longer, but damn it, it was worth it. It was
No
so
doubt, no
worth
doubt.
it. Thank you to our guests. Thank you for coming down. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget, if any of you maybe feel like maybe you want a little to come and see Miss Joseph, Miss Takia, get a little touch up. Maybe relationship is a little rocky, or you want to make sure it stays solid. You can always use a tune-up. Like you get that weave tuned up, you get the nails tuned up, and you get that haircut tuned up. Tune up your marriage, tune up your relationship as well, because it needs it. And your mental health while you're at it. That is so important. Please don't overlook that, ever. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. And more importantly, we hope you'll tell a friend about us. If you know somebody got some money, we are open to sponsors. We would love to have a conversation with you. Reach out to any of us here, and we would love to have that conversation with you. Okay? Until next time, in 2 weeks, we'll see you then. Okay, bye!
Peace.
Bye.